Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will walk you through some important concepts of C# programming. So here is the list. We will cover today what is data type in C#, how we can use it, and what are the data types, how many types are there which we can use, and in which scenarios we can use, in which scenarios we want to use the data types, and what is this bit byte concept into the C# programming. And we also cover some practicals according to this data types in our Visual Studio. So let's begin. This is our first topic, that is data type. A data type tells the computer what kind of value is being stored, for example number, text, true, false, how much memory it needed, what operations can be done on that data. It is a kind of value, like if we want to store some value, like if it is a integer value or string value, we have to proper specify that which data type we want to use, like integer, string. If we want to store number, then we have to use integer, and if we want to use this text, then we have to use string data type. And suppose if we want to use true, false values, then for this we have boolean value. And how much memory it needed, we also learn it later section. And what kind of operations are done on this data. There is some classification on data types. Here is two types of data types, like first one is built-in data type, and second one is user defined data type. First one, that is it is provided by C#, already exists in code. It is already provided by C# programming. We do not need to create it, we already got it if we have C# code. Into that we have integer, float, and character data types which we want to use. And into integer we can put numbers value, float we can put a decimal value, and character we have to put a single quotes character like A, B, or C. Only A if we want to put in character. And here is some user defined data types like classes, interfaces. These topics we will cover in our later videos. So these are user defined data types which we create, like classes and interface. Next one is the classification of data types. It is like if we want to store some data into the data types through the variables, then we can use these types. Like first one is value type, and second one is reference types. Value types are like which holds actual data directly into that variable. Like if we want to store some numbers into this int, it will directly store the data into that integer. And if we want to store float, double, character, bool, in float we can store decimal value, single decimal value, and in double we can store double decimal value, and character we want to we can store like single quotes character into that. In boolean we only store like true, false value. This is the main purpose of boolean data type. And reference data type, it is like it does not give actual value to the, if we want to use string or object, it does not store actual value to these data types. It use the reference of that data type or the address of the actual where the data is stored in the memory. It stores that reference value, not the actual value. So this is string type and object type. String type is like if we want to save some text into this, then we can use string type. And object is like we can store any kind of data type. If it is integer, if it is number, character, or boolean value, we can store all kinds of data types into this object data type. Here are some notes we have to look into it. Like first one is if we want to use float values or float data type, after the value we have to write down f suffix, because it is must if we want to use float data type. Because its normal behavior is if we do not put f into this value, then it will give us compile time error, because by default it considers this value as a double data type. So we have to write f if we want to use float data type. Next one is if we want to put text values into the string, we have to put that value into double quotes. We can store in this way. This is the format you can see. Then next one is char. If we want to use char, or if we want to store some values like single character values into char, then we have to use this format, single quotes. In this way we can store this value into char. Use of the objects only if the type is not known at design time, and objects can store any data type but needs casting when retrieving. If we want to use object and in situation where we do not know the type at the design time, then we can use this one. We can go with this object data type, but keep this in mind, like if we want to use this object data type, we have to, on the time of retrieving or getting the data, we have to use the typecasting, which I will tell you in the later section. Without typecasting it will throw an error, because if we are putting some numbers into that object, and retrieving that data into the integer, it will not it will give us compile time error, because object does not know that what kind of value it stores, and integer also don't get the value, and it shows us the compile time error. Next type we have value types and references types. Value types are these: data types, description, precision. Example, data type is integer numbers. If we want to put some integer value or numbers into the this is the example. And in float data type, if we want to use float, we have to put f, as I already said, because it is must, its behavior, it considers float if we write f into the after the value, and it contains 7 digits, into this we can put 7 digits into that if we want to use float data type. And in the next data type, that is double, we can use 15 to 16 digits into this if we want to store some data, some big data, as compared to float. We can put that data into the double data type. In this way we can store it, and it also contains double dot precision values. Next one is char, where we have only single character we can store, like this, a single character like a in single quotes we can store into char. And next one is a bool data type, where we only store true false values, like this we can store true or false. This is the format. If we talk about reference types, then this is the types data, string and object. It is like sequence of characters. Like if we want to store some text into the string, then we can do in this way. With the double quotes we have to put that text, and we can easily store that into our string. And object, as I already said, we can store any kind of data into it. If it is a string type, integer type or boolean type, we can store all kind of data into this one. Here we are storing numbers into object data type, but on the time of getting the result from this data, we have to use typecast. Here we have some examples of data types. Like first one is integer, we are putting numbers into integer, and we are displaying these data into our terminal window. Next one is float, where we can use this format, and then double data type, char data type with a single quotes, bool, where we can store true false values, string, where we can store some text, and object, we can store any kind of data type, like string, integer or boolean. This is the code which we used in the last lecture. So remove this and start with the data types. First we have integer, int number. Suppose we can put some numbers into that, and we can just print this one for displaying the result. Next one we have a string, is string value. Next we have a float data type. Here we can store like this, and we have to put suppose we do not write f, then it is giving the compile time error, that its normal behavior is like it is considering this double data type is we are storing double data type into float. So this is wrong. We have to put f if we want to use this float data type in proper way. This is the proper way we can use this line. Then we can display this data. Double data type. Write line. Next one is char. Char value vehicle, where we can only store like a suppose single character we can store into char. We can also display this one, what will be the output of this char into the terminal window. Char value. Next data type we have bool type. Here we also print this one. Bool value plus bool value. Next one we have object. If we want to put some number data into this, we can easily put this. It like supports all kind of data, as I already said that it will store numbers, strings or boolean type values. Write line obj number number. We can also create a new object with the string type. Obj string. Can put here developers, and also print this one in terminal window. cjstr space concatenation of cjstr. Now these are the values we can see into a terminal window. Let's see what value it will print. Integer, string, float, double, character, bool, object with the numbers, integer values and with the string values. As you can see, it is giving all the values, integer values, this one is string values, programmer, this one is float values, double values, char values, bool values, where I put false, and object is giving integer values, and object string is giving string values. Suppose if we want to put this string value into string data type, then what will be the output? Let's see. String values obj str. So it is giving us the error because it is not understanding that what kind of values the object have. It is having integer value or a string value. So for this we need typecasting. This is the purpose of typecasting. We can properly set this one that this is the string value, not the integer value. So we can easily get this value. We can also print this one if we want to do this. Right line str value plus str value from object. We can see that in terminal window. It will most probably print same value as compared to object developers. As you can see, it is showing us the same values as we have in the object data type. So this is the purpose of typecasting we need. And suppose if we are putting this string value into int, now it needs integer value because we are converting string value to integer value. So it also gives us the compile time error. We have to typecast this into integer value like this. But here is one thing, like it is also giving us error on runtime because we are putting string values into integer values. We can see that. Suppose we are running this one, we can get a runtime error most probably. We have the breakpoint, and now it shows us the error that it is unable to typecast that string value to int value. So we have to do typecasting properly, like we are doing here wrong. If we want to put integer value into integer data type, then we can use this one, this object where we have integer value. So this is the right one, object number. Now it will not throw an error, it will give us the same output as the object integer have. Suppose we are running this application. Now let's see, it will not reflect that error again, as we provide the proper integer value into integer with the proper typecast. As you can see, it is not showing us the error. Next one is suppose if we want to get the range of this one, integer, float and double, then we can do that. We can check that minimum value or maximum value of float and integer along with double. Integer number, minimum value, and here we can print maximum value. Dot minimum value dot maximum value, and in float we can also display minimum value of float with the minimum value, and here we can display maximum value, and in double we can also display minimum value of this one and maximum of double. We have to use this one, minimum value with the double, minimum value maximum value. Now it will display the integer minimum value, maximum value along with the float minimum value, maximum value, and also shows us the double minimum value or maximum value. So let's see what is the range or what is the minimum maximum value of integer, float and double. It is a kind of range of these one. Now we can see here, this is the minimum value of integer and maximum value of integer. Here we have the float range of a minimum to maximum, and now we have to see this one, double minimum value and maximum value. These are the ranges of these data types. I think we cleared all data types. We cover all these data types: integer, float, double, along with the char, the bool, string and object. Next one is what we are having a concept that what is a bit and what is a byte. A bit is like a bit, a short for binary digit, is the smallest unit of data in computing. It can hold only two values, 0 or 1. Think of it like a light switch. It's either on or off. A bit is like a very smallest unit of data in while we are suppose we write any program, we cannot directly put that into machine code, or machine will not understand this language, this program. It only understands 0 1 values, as we have here, like 0 or 1. There are two values which is machine understandable format. This is a bit. Machine, if we suppose write any program, then first it compiles that program and convert it into machine understandable format. Then it will give us the output according to our input. Suppose if we have a light switch, that is only two steps, like on and off. We can do these two things for the switch, for light switch. And next one is byte. Byte contains total 8 bits. In 1 byte there is total 8 bits, and in 1 byte can store this range. This is the range of a byte, 0 to 255 to 8 256 different values we can store into byte. 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Next one, we have examples of bit and byte with the ranges. This is data type bits, bytes, range. So we have byte with 1 byte is equal to 8 bits, and this is the range 0 to 255. Same as that with s byte, s short, u short. Integer we have 4 bytes, but in bits we have 32 bits total, and this is the range which I already showed you in the terminal window of Visual Studio. We have u int long. Then we have float data type, where we have 4 bytes and same 32 bits as with integer values, and this is the total range of this float data type. And as I already said that it consider 7 precision values, 7 precision digit in float. Next one is a double data type which contains 8 bytes and which is considered 64 bits, equal to 64 bits, and this is the range we have, and 15 digits precision values it can have. Next one is char. Char values have 2 bytes along with 16 bits, where it is a Unicode characters. Boolean value we can store only 2 values, like it stores true or false, like that. Next we have some real world example. Suppose 1 bit is equal to 1 drop of ink, and then 1 byte is we can if suppose we have 1 byte, 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. It is must to write one character on a page, and so we have 1000 bytes is equal to 1 KB, and it is enough to write some short sentences with these space 1000 bytes or 1 KB you can say. 1 MB is equal to 1 book, and 1 GB is around 1000 books, and 1 TB is like a huge library. Suppose we have any app like a book reading app where we can read any book. It is a kind of that. This is the example, a good example for this one. Next we have why f with float. Why we use f character with floats data type? Because as I already told you that this is the behavior of float data type. If we do not write f with the after the value of float, then it will consider as double data type. We are putting double data type into float, so it will give us the compile time error, which is its normal behavior, you can say. So it will not consider it float, it will consider it as double, so it will give us an compile time error. So we have to put f after the value like 3.14 f, then we can easily use that float data type. You must add f to tell the compiler that this is a float literal, not a double data type. So this is the correct format, and this is the incorrect one. You can see this will not give us compile time error, as this is give us the compile time error with the double by default behavior. So we have to use f if we want to use float data type. Next topic is object in C#. As we already studied about object data type, then it can store any kind of data types, it will store numbers, string, any doubles or float data type values, or any boolean values it can store. It supports all formats in if we want to use object data type. In C#, object is the base class of all types. Every type value or reference can be assigned to a variable of type object. We can assign any kind of value, if it is a string, numbers, or boolean. If we want to use object as a data type, only use if you need it. Without unnecessary, don't use it, because if we put some value into this, then on the time of retrieving the data or getting the data, we have to use the typecasting, which is the normal behavior of object. Because if we are putting a string value to the integer data type while typecasting, it will throw an error. So to avoid the error, only use that when you need it, because it is loses type safety and requires typecasting, so it is must. Next we have a summary. So let's revise what we learned today. First one is data types. Define the kind of data a variable can store in C#. For example, int, float, string, object. We can store we have many data types, as we already studied about integer, float, string, object. In integer we can put numbers, float we can put decimal values, and in string we can put any words or text or object. It supports all kind of values like numbers, strings, boolean. Next one we have value types, which value types are where we store directly the value into the data type. Like integer, we are directly storing the values, like the integer, then the number is equal to 10. We are storing actual value into the integer. But opposite in the case, if we are talk about reference type, it will not store actual value, it will store the address of that where the actual value is stored. So this is the reference type, it is storing the reference of that data like string or object. And the next one is bit, it only holds 0 or 1 values, and byte, 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. This is the normal range of this. 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So 1 byte can store 256 value. This is the range of this byte. Next we have float requires f suffix. As I already told you many times, float it is a format. If we want to use that float data type, we have to put f after the number, so we can easily use that. Otherwise it will throw us an error, and by default its behavior is it consider it as double data type. Next one is object is the base type that can store any data type used in boxing and unboxing. Boxing and unboxing we will cover in next video. Object it can store any kind of data types like integer, strings, boolean. So it is like a base of all data types. We can store any kind of data types. So here is our today's lecture. So let's wind up today's lecture. Hope you like the video. If you have any doubt regarding any concept which we covered today, then you can mention that into the comment section. If you like the video, you can subscribe my channel, like that video, and you can press the bell icon for the latest upcoming videos. And if you want me to create some topics on specific concepts, then you can also mention that into the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye. Have a great smile day.